very small group, so we'll just keep it intimate.
Yeah. Okay. Vice Chair wants to say something.
Two personal questions. Are you from Ateneo? Because the chairman, vice chairman, and president are from Ateneo. Oh, you're not. Number two. What's your
Wait, my high school or my
college?
I went to a school in Philadelphia. I
And
went to art school.
art school. Okay. Then have you started writing books? Because SKR and the chairman also. Okay. Now, 3 points I'd like to bring out. One, I thought the initial part of the presentation was very powerful. The poverty incidence and the investments. May I suggest a third map? And I think you can get this from School of Government Ateneo. To see the placement of the political families and political warlords. I think those would be very strong correlations. Poverty, the location of the political families and warlords. Which brings me to my second point. Up to now, I have a perception that there's a conflict between agriculture and real estate.
Absolutely.
Okay, you agree with that. And I think the data-driven presentation you have presented is a way to have negotiations between agriculture and real estate. Because for me, real estate is the unsustainable metropolitization.
Yes.
But the point is that we cannot just look at it that way. So I think the whole thing you presented is a way to harmonize agriculture and real estate. But which leads me to my third point. We have to look at the whole thing you presented within a global insertion. Because we want, okay, you want to lessen the OFW, the outsourcing, the OFWs, which is for me correct. But I think simultaneously when you've developed San Jose del Monte as a good model and you're trying to replicate it in private studies, I think there must also be a global parallel analysis of how, as you pursue this and evolve this, the Philippine economy is situated within the global setting. I mean, we've had decades of missed opportunities. And I think that's the missing link. So I would like to suggest, Mr. Chairman, that we have an ongoing linkage with them because the Tawi or proponent, Princess, I don't know, if she's willing to bring it there in the system, I'm willing to get involved actively because I think Warren and all that are good. So 3 things. I'll do it. One is the map showing the political families. Number 2, the fight between agri and real estate. And I think this is like one way to harmonize it. And number 3, the whole thing here, the global insertion. What will be the new industries for the Philippines, for the global insertion? And then which of these industries will reverse the metropolitization? Thank you.
No comment? No. No comments. Okay. Yes. Wait for the mic. Turn on your mic and bring it closer. Here.
The model we look at is like an equity model. And that model is such that you take a process facility such as with the environment we have, you put it in a community, and everyone commits to grow and put their materials in. But you give the farmers shares of stock in the entity, because for every dollar, if you can get a 15-to-1 price to earnings ratio in a stock market company, for every dollar of profit, you can create 14 of shareholder value. That's how you create wealth. So you have to disincentivize the idea that, oh, I'll sell it at the highest price guy is going to come along. And if people see that they're getting, it could be a vesting system, but whatever it may be, but if they end up getting stock for what they give, then it goes all the way up the chain. You talked about they get the coconut water and they throw away the husk, and they do this and they do that. But if you have a guaranteed market, if you're processing it, if you tie all of these entities in, that's how it works. But again, you shares of stock for the LGU. You can basically, one of the other issues is that no one in this country is paid to survive. Okay? It's just, there's no government position. What a senator's make, 120,000, something like that. It's impossible to survive. So these entities can give reward to in stock to everyone in the chain based on the success of the entity. It's a corporate model. It's like Rockwell. Rockwell operates like its own city. Okay, everyone that's there, either you rent there, you follow certain rules. Okay, so you have standardized rules for all of these places, like a corporation, like a camp, and everyone follows the rules for it. And for the production that you give, the more stock you get. At the end of the day, the better you're doing with your production, and all of this can be monitored. Okay, this is utopia. Okay.
The model you're talking about, this exact model.
Okay.
The community members are shareholders and their shares of stock sit on their balance.
But it has to be an individual ecosystem, okay? Because the privacy issues. You have a bank secrecy law. You can't even look at anyone's bank accounts or anything like that. But incentivizing that, the planning. One of the things that when the guy was here from environment, the secretary, they said we should be getting satellite photos of the entire country, from either Russia or China or the U.S., helping us over the past 50 years, several per day, put it in a loop so we can look at where water is. We discussed the marshlands, inland, there can be fish farms on the side, but really looking at mixed use of all this stuff, a history of everything, and then planning these different things and then having a given system for all of it. But the ideas we're looking at is we're looking at high density oil and gas, okay, it's feedstocks and all of our other things. We're looking at hemp. We're actually looking, I'll show you, we looked at the circular cities. And the circular city has the city inside, and then on the outskirts, it has farm and industrial and everything like that. It's an Israeli model, and pictures like that. But it's almost like everyone works for the corporation. But what they contribute and say, the model I have, we want the high go in everyone's house and irrigated all the way down there. And for those people that are good at what they do, you give them land outside. You have contests, you train all of these people and grow these things and process it within a certain ecosystem. But did you just see that yesterday China and Russia announces that to get a cell phone now, you have to register your SIM card and you must have had facial recognition. You know what that means? Wow, that's the surveillance state. That's the anti-privacy state. All of these other things. Blockchain. Okay. Part of the issue with the thing, if we were to get all the satellite pictures and make the maps, we can see where it's flooding, where it's not flooding, to make sure that we're planting in the right places. The blockchain thing can report the past temperatures, it can report everything in the marketplace. But it has to be in a closed ecosystem. Because how many guys at the market go to business to even report? How big is the black market economy here versus what actually goes through BIR and all the other regulations? But if the cash flows can be capitalized in a public company, then wow, everyone makes. And everyone has an incentive to do it because the ratio is 10 to 1, 14 to 1, 15 to 1, and everyone will join.
I want to make broad, smart comments. 15 years ago, expecting as chairman here, I put the figures. 10 million Filipinos abroad, 10 billion inward remittances. Now we're talking 30 billion inward remittances. Your figure of 8.5, we're talking $30 billion. In 2 years, that's enough to wipe out our external debt. External debt is running at 60. This is the largest single overwhelming factor in our economy of overseas contract workers. Okay, and maybe in 5 years' time, this could rise to $45 billion, particularly because the foreign countries are opening up to our workers. They were a bit close to us for the first 10, 20 years. But now they're opening up. So this could be a surge. And I haven't noted the latest figures of overseas contract workers. I wouldn't be surprised if it's close to 20 million. It was 10 million 15 years ago. It's probably close to 20 now, generating 30 billion. No? It could rise to 30 million in 5 to 10 years time, generating 50 billion. That's an overwhelming, that's probably a bigger force than the national government itself. The second point is business processing. That requires more technical skills because call centers are on the way down. It's being replaced by IT. We're talking now to computers instead of real people. Business processing, legal, accounting, that requires technical skills which we are losing. They're going abroad. I mean, college professors are serving as maids in hotel maids in London. So that factor is a bit of a question mark. The third factor, which is explosive growth, is in technologies, IT, 4G, 5G is on the way. Our people have to adapt to this to catch up, or else we'll be left behind. Our neighbors are doing this. So that has the biggest potential. It also requires skilled workers. Our skilled workers are going abroad, and we have to factor it in. That's the greatest need and the greatest potential. We have to take advantage of that, or else we will be overwhelmed by our neighbors. I think those three things. Just concentrate on that, because these are the broad swath implications for the future.
Yeah, that's why the human capital here is here front and center. Because once again, as you were saying, the OFW phenomenon, the outsourcing phenomenon, that's really taking human capital and servicing an external market. And you're saying.
And the inflows create demand.
Exactly.
This is the demand. It's demand create or growth is demand create. You see that in the order for houses in the farms,
Right.
and the purchasing power in the malls. That's all funded by this.
Yeah, and that's what's jacking up GDP. Especially what we have an average of 29 storms that pass the Philippines. Every time there's a storm, GDP spikes. And the whole world says, look how resilient the Philippines is. But in essence, what really happened is all that damage and hospital bills, and so the OFWs are sending more money back for construction, for hospital bills, and so on and so forth, which is boosting GDP. So GDP is a terrible way to measure anything. We have all of this data now. So why are we still using something from 200, 300 years ago, right, as the main metric of development or growth, right? See, yeah.
Mind if I see the number of municipalities you're working with again?
Sure.
Okay.
So we did San Jose del Monte. We're meeting about it actually this week. And then we were invited, we're entering Barm in Marawi. We're actually combining two efforts. One is Dr. Ed Morato's group. They're doing Marawi. And the second is that we were invited by the leadership of Barm. Commander Bravo specifically requested SDR to come. And so we're going to do this, and there's a fair amount of data. I'd like to, in the future, once we have all of the analysis, to present the Marawi case study to you, to see how we're analyzing the supply chains, and then the investments, and which processing facilities are going in there, and which products will be produced there, and so on and so forth.
My question is that you mentioned supply chain, which products will be produced, it's all the manufacturing and creation side. Are you working with any municipality which gives you access to the public market? So you actually create, you can see how it's going, because without that's the main problem. They have the goods, they don't know where to put it. So
And then this is why, once again, your key metric here is really the household. This is the most important distinction. If you're taking an MBA, what you're analyzing is the firm, right? When you're talking about financial analysis, it's the financial statements of the firm. Obviously, the firm views the community as line item labor, basically, right? So, but if you're looking at it from the community perspective, and you're benchmarking all of your activity against how will this impact the community net worth, right? So embedded in there is the consumption or the consumption patterns. Something like, San Jose del Monte, when you quantify the balance sheet, their asset size is more than 20 billion. That's massive. Okay? So you're actually treating the community as a giant corporation with its whole shareholding structure, which is why you're quantifying the private groups and the public business and the public groups in the area. How many private groups, and what are the shareholding? What's the shareholding structure? They should be comprised of, the community members, which is why you're going into joint ventures. When you're going to joint ventures with private groups, you're actually talking about the human capital forms the basis for the private groups. So they're starting from corporations, they're joint venturing with other corporations. The first satisfy the needs, the consumption. So it's all market driven, local market driven. Because there is consumption going on. Right?
Next question.
Yeah.
San Jose del Monte, you have the public market there, and that's where you see the consumption, buying of vegetables, buying of fruits, whatnot, and everything.
That's one big traffic point.
Yeah, that's an example.
Yeah.
Now, there's also SM there.
Sure.
With their vegetables, their fruits, which don't come from San Jose. They'll come from their suppliers, from Garcia, from wherever, whatnot. How do you get a distinction where it came from? And are you counting that as a because that city, the richer people end up going there, paying more money for the same fruit, whether better or lower quality doesn't matter. But I noticed that when people end up having more money, they forget about buying local or supporting. Somebody decided to go to SF because it's air conditioned, it's more comfortable. How do you get over that hurdle?
So that's where the community organizing function comes into play. This isn't just blind data gathering where you're going in there, you're taking the data and telling them what it's for. The whole approach, the clustering approach. Right? So you've got, alright, so you've got the clusters, right? So with actually organizing these households, you have a community manager appointed at each level. In essence, what goes on is that there's a sort of a focus group discussion going on at each cluster. So you have the manager there, and you have a representative from that cluster, and you have a group. Each household has an average size of about 5 people. So cluster is 5, so you have anywhere between 25 to 35 people in one cluster, right? And so you go through a discussion on first, why are you poor? And it's very cathartic. There's a lot of crying, there's a lot of existential sort of introspection and insights. And because that's the foundation. You're building up the community. The community is made up of households. Alright, that's the important distinction. A community is not made up of corporations in the community, it's made up of households. And then those households then form the groups. And so by making a distinction and showing them what their economy looks like, that way the jeepney and the tricycle driver can see what his relationship is to the rest of the economy, and so on and so forth. And that is what really clicks in their minds. Because you're right, and we do measure, what is sourced locally, what is imported from other areas. That's how we determined that they were importing 800 million worth of pork products into San Jose del Monte, right? And pure gold, for instance, every time they enter into a community, they bribe the LGU to relocate the public market, and then they set up in the public market. So there, force of habit, people are poor, they're happy to go to that area, so then, so it's part of their tactics, right? So, but like anything else, the solution is data, more data. You have to explain to them, and this goes into the whole. We're also leveraging RA 1679, which is the Youth Entrepreneurship Law. So, which causes the creation of the entrepreneurship centers, and it's divorced from the school system. It's not connected to DepEd or DEX. It's a standalone sort of entity which can source funds from all of the other agencies. Right? And entrepreneurial training there starts about 7, as young as 7 years old. Right? And so the idea then is that you're training them into opportunities in that area. Because if you don't present opportunities in that area, then they become double, right? Because even if you train them, like for instance, Google has this whole distance learning program where they train remotely on software development. So it's great success in terms of the enrollment and the delivery and so forth. But after the training is done, they're there in the rural area. What am I going to do with this new skill set? So then they go to Singapore or they go to another area, right? Because you haven't created opportunity in that area, right? So that is part of it too. Because in some areas you're like, okay, what you're going to do this is what this is already going to do. Or we're going to buy a bicycle. You say, no, according to this data, this place has too many bicycles. You should go into this instead. That is revealed by the data. But then remember, the whole community knows about that. Your barangay knows about that. So that's the whole community organizing part, where the dissemination of information and showing that we are a community. So there is a distinction when you have that identity of a community. There's us, the community, and then there's them who are not in the community. Okay, so when SM comes in, we understand that, okay, we could sell our land and for 5 million pesos, right? But if we do this instead with the community, these are the projections that we can make, not just this year, but next year or the next generation, and so on and so forth. Because there's estate planning, basically. You've integrated estate planning in this process. So when you're selling it to them, because really, from the point of view of the landowner, I have to choose between one, selling it, or two, making a go of it. That's really this existential dilemma. Right? Every time the mall is there, the land prices increase, then he or she is gonna make a decision: sell or not sell. And so what you're doing is you're providing an opportunity to say, okay, if you don't sell and you develop in this manner, this is how much money you could make as a community. Right? Now if you sell to SM, okay, you get your 5 million, but then you're no longer a community member because you have more land here. Nothing will go to your relatives or to your descendants, and you're probably going to depend on your OFW, your 1 or 2 OFW family members for the foreseeable future. I mean that all goes into the whole clustering problem. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking at that chart that you see there, and you said earlier that is a integrated supply chain integration, and you mentioned a company name is Thailand company CP something. Okay. It struck me. What you're trying to do is develop the community by itself and so on and grow. Okay. But on a shortcut method, time is a very big essence, and we are all in a hurry. Couldn't we just shortcut the whole thing and encourage more CP companies? Because they are the ones who would be of interest to develop them. And in other words, give them the job, and CP can probably do the job of community development, and etc. In other words, they have the incentive to make it work. So they've got the money and etc. So probably what we should do is invite more CPs to set up. Now, the only problem that I see that if you encourage too many of these industrial companies standalones is that how do you protect? This is social part. How do you protect now the farmers and etc. down in the value chain? So again, I think the solution for that is to have them as shareholders and make sure that CP really is very transparent in their accounting and etc. etc. They don't sold all the money abroad and then say again, because I think this was in the past, this was the Central Lucita case, where during the land reform, they were allowed to, the Boatos were allowed to go into corporate farming and issue shares of stocks to the farmers. But then along the way, the sugar industry went down in general all over the world. And of course, the Lucita people were not giving supposedly dividends, etc. And there was a big suspicion that the farmers were being fooled, and the whole thing blew up, and it was discouraged, this corporate farming. So I think what we should do is, on a very quick way, encourage now a lot of more of these industrial companies, but lay the rule that they have to include the farmers now and everybody in the value chain to be shareholders. Everybody, of course, pitch in. And so they're all part of one family, and there's no squabble about funds flow and etc. Because here in this case, I see also that you may have difficulty in the funds flow. One of my observations is, the funding in the Philippines is really topsy-turvy. Okay, in the marketplace, the retail stores, they get cash payments, except for some credit card payments. Okay, so they get paid by the credit card company 15 days after. But it's a big cash flow. It's a cash cow. That's why people set up sari-sari stores and etc. Because then they get their materials on credit. But that credit thing goes further and further. And the poor farmer at the end of the line is the one who needs cash on hand. But they are denied financing at all. No? So it's the working capital problem. So, but if you are only part of one integrated company, you don't have to worry about cash flow. It's the treasurer of the company who has the problem and handle that. So I was just wondering, what's your comment? Just shortcut and
Actually, what you just shared, that's the model. That's why we're talking to the Chamber of Agriculture and Food and the Chamber of Commerce and Industry and other incubators, accelerators, and so on and so forth. You want to take established businesses with track records and insert them into this system. Take case in point, Dining House, a vertically integrated, all of the upstream facilities. But in essence, what you would have, that's the beauty of the portfolio approach. You're bringing as many partners in to take advantage of all of the opportunities. And because you're benchmarking this against the impact on the household net worth, there's no way that you can cheat the system, because as you do the planning and the analysis, it will tell you, okay, these activities, this portfolio will affect the household income in this way. So the idea here is to balance. Okay, let the corporations use their paradigm to maximize their financial bottom line, because that's their paradigm. But then situate it in the context of the community, so you balance that. What is the optimum balance between your bottom line and the community's bottom line, where it's win-win, right? While maintaining the integrity of the resource allocation so that it's replenished, so it becomes sustainable. Because another aspect of this metropolitanization is it's cancer growth. You're going to an area, you're depleting it of resources, then you're moving to the next area to do the same thing. Because it's unsustainable. You're always using the natural resource, like mining is like that, right? So and that's where the shareholding approach comes into play also. Like for instance, take this, right? You could have one party come in and vertically integrate everything, or you could have several parties have one each link in the supply chain. But you're right, if you take Dan Barron's approach, the reason why it works, from an investment banking perspective, is one, off-take agreements. All of this project, they all have off-take agreements, right? Second is the integration of the community members. Part of this process is he takes all of the employees and then he pays off all of their debts. They get free medical, they get free dental, they get 1 meal a day. Okay, and then they become shareholders. But if you apply this to every single project in there, and that's the concept of the joint venture we're talking about. So you're bringing in external parties, but you're structuring a joint venture agreement so that when you're maximizing the profits for that corporation, it accrues also to the household members themselves, which gives them purchasing power, and then it creates a virtuous cycle. And contrast that against the vicious cycle that's going on now, where it's really just resource depletion. Property developer goes in there, kicks out the people, those people go abroad, they send the money back, they spend in the malls, they spend to buy newly developed housing developments, and then just move on to the next area. At the same time, they're using all the natural resources. Exporting them, importing the finished goods. That's the context.
Let's go back to the 3 points I was trying to make earlier. Those 3 forces, no? The overseas contract workers, the BP and IT. I just wanted to see if how this application with waste. Tricycle drivers now are using waste. And that's been there for some time. I think, and there's so many applications coming in, so continuously, that should be pushed into the
That's what
countryside.
it is, entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
instead of having the developers work on ways, why don't you just create your own application? Because all of these problems can be solved by apps.
Yes.
This can be made locally.
Yes. Let's forget the farmer who's 59 years old. He's not going to, it will take ages for him to think. It's the younger generation or the grandchildren. They should get into it. But I don't know whether we should have a concentration of effort to just push applications to the countryside and show how this develops productivity. Because I think that's basically it. That's all private sector oriented. And I think this concept of build. That's also going to be corrupt. This is what happened during the last years of first term or second term of Marcos when he went into infrastructure and it created in the early 80s 40% inflation. I think private sector approaches this better. Let's forget government.
Yeah.
Private sector
Right.
approach for productivity.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
Subsidies. A factory in China, when China comes to me in 1991, 1992, he brings my product. He says, I can make this for 60% less than you're making for the Philippines. Okay. How was that being done? He might have been able to make it for 20% less. The difference was being subsidized by the Chinese government. The Chinese government, the way that they capture manufacturing all over the world is subsidize refrigerators, whatever it is. They invested in the factories, they gave it all out. It could be the function, it's supposed to be the function, say, DBP, the land bank. Go back to the Magna Carta for small farmers. It's all there. Okay? It's all there, what should be done. But you change it to a stock market model. You change it to a thing where everyone gets their piece where there is, you're saying you get health care, it's a corporation, but it's a corporation where the cash flows are capitalized. We talked to the miners and we said, you can mine in a small scale mine, and at the end of the day you can sell your stuff and take that and walk away. But if you guys pool and you put it in and you have a steady flow of things like this and you get paid a certain amount, all that gold or whatever it is that's going through, you have a corporation, your stock of the company, your cash flow, and the value of the whole entities dramatic. The miners met with me, and I'm talking to them, and I said, if everyone works together and everyone shares the stock in the entity, there's no security problems. One of the biggest issues with any capitalization of all these places is that when they don't cooperate, they attack, they burn, they do this. But if they get a piece of all of these different things, then the value of the mines of that, tremendous value, tremendous. One of the other issues, community wealth, we're looking at Dollar General, and we're looking at articles on that. That they're starting to pass laws that Dollar General, the dollar stores in the U.S., have to be a mile apart and all these other differences, because the Dollar General guys are coming in and they're putting anyone else out of business. Sorry stores, fresh food, supermarkets won't go in. Everyone's eating potato chips, and there's no real fresh food or any of these other things. There are community models. Okay? There are utopian models, but the utopian model only works with the stock component. And again, the other issue is that you're tracking success. I want to know if I give up a high vote to something. I want to know who grows the best tomatoes. The person that grows the best tomatoes, that's someone who can be massaged and all this. Also, my father-in-law was instrumental in the OFW thing, okay, way back. And he talked to me about all of it. And he said the purpose of the OFW thing was to send all of our people out into jobs around the world so they could learn everything and then come back and turn this place into Miami Beach. The whole plan for Manila Bay and all the other different things was about Miami Beach. And again, remnants of it are, now it's like mini Las Vegas, whatever it may be. But it was all to instruct our people and bring them out and then bring them back. Okay? And again, the whole farming thing, there are issues. You can't make money in farming unless you're industrialized, okay? And the problem is that no one has the incentive to help the 6-hectare land reform people because they're never going to be efficient, okay, but they have that land, and the big farmers want to have all the tracks. So you've got to segment, you've got to really look at all of the flat land that's there that's not being utilized, and you try and take that for industrial farming so you can compete, okay, and subsidize so you can compete from that side. We'll look at other crops like hemp, like papaya, like moringa, like all these other different things that we could get into that we could have a competitive advantage for. But I digress. But there's enormous value in these types of systems. But the other aspect is globalization, robots. Okay. Ramon, you just mentioned that the business process outsourcing and the call centers. And I had a meeting with a guy who was one of the conchos from Visa, and this is 2.5 years ago. And he says to me, call centers have a problem. The business process outsourcing has a problem. He says everything's going to go into the homes and all those other things like that, which we have to mention. What's going to happen when all these business process outsourcing things that can be handled like this are going to disappear because of not just AI, but if I can enter my own things into this, and there's a check and balance system, it's going to be more accurate than if some key punch person who's listening to go. And again, that has to be looked at too. Lack of jobs. All these things are really going to cause a problem. And we're not talking about civil unrest.
Your task is eradication of poverty. The real cause of poverty is as incomes go up, prices go up at the same time or even more. You cannot really, you're also not even here. And the basic cause of that inflation is government corruption and incompetence, because that results in the overprinting of money to pay for it, and they're not, government is not accountable. Government cannot go bankrupt. It just has to keep printing money to cover the deficits, and that produces so much money in the system and causes prices to go up. So even if the wages are going up, prices are going up at the same time, you cannot get out of the poverty trap. That's why it's a fault of this what I call politocracy versus meritocracy. Meritocracy is the best system. It's achieved by free markets because you benefit when you produce correctly. If you don't produce correctly, you go out of business. You cannot go out of business in government. And basically, the enemy, in a certain sense, the greatest enemy of the poor is government. Because you want people, the government is the most attractive work, because not only you get your salary, you also get a chance to be corrupt. That's what makes you, that's why government officials, when they end up when they retire, they're always much better off and wealthier. It has to, we have to reorient it to meritocratic systems where you only gain if you produce. If you don't produce, you don't gain, you go out of business. That should be the reason why government is the enemy of the poor is because government wants the poor to stay poor. You know why? Because it's cheaper to buy their votes. How can you buy their votes if you're the middle class? If that's not middle class, they won't sell their votes to you. They want the poor to stay there. Wittingly or unwittingly, that's the reason. Okay? And I don't know whether we can wake up to this fact.
One other thing I want to mention, and Habib is going on this house. We need a competitive advantage. We need something that these other guys don't have. Goose on march, the glass on march. When you go to the water spigots that they do and you turn them on, you can light them on fire. That means there's massive amounts of methane that's floating up into the air. Do you realize that we could take high energy use, melting steel, melting this, fiberglass, whatever it may be, industrial stuff that takes heavy energy power. And you can stick them there and you can say, okay, you tap into the methane and you get cut rate prices on energy for manufacturing production. Even if you're going to run robots, if you're going to run robots, if you're going to run servers, and you take that energy that is being, the methods going right up into the air, you tap into it, that gives us a competitive advantage in manufacturing. And you've got a base of people there that can be drawn on for employment and all the other different things like that. But you've got to have that competitive advantage, or you've got to subsidize. And it's difficult, but everyone has got to get a cut. If you gave the corn people in agriculture a bonus for production, if you said, okay, you're doing 10 million bushels of corn, and you go to 15 million bushels of corn, everyone gets a bonus in the corn department. Guess what? You're going to grow corn. You're going to grow corn. And all of these different things, you're going to give them a piece down the line. Otherwise, the piece is going to come from another place. And that's what's going on. But consider the tapping that method.
Talking of poverty again, I think you will get to recognize a slight dent in poverty recently, the last 1 or 2 years. No? And part of that is the result of this, what they call this, for peace handouts. Yeah, handouts, in one sense, they're alms, no? That's not good. But in another sense, it's their investments because they permit the household to afford better education, to afford better Medicare, to afford better housing. It's an investment in people. And I would say that we owe it to the poor because they've been kept poor for so long. Our poverty levels have not changed for 50 years. At the same time, government has become richer, government officials have become richer, and we might owe it to them. Look at our past 50 years. And I would suggest that maybe increase the, not handouts, but investments in people, investments in the poor, so that they can afford to live better and rise to the middle class, which maybe government will not do. But it's an investment in people which we owe the poor. So if you want to eradicate poverty, give them cash, make it a bigger amount that they will rise and be comfortable in life so that they can work better and rise to the middle class. I don't know how feasible it is. But my last point is that when you give it to the poor, give it to the women. Don't give it to the men. Because women have a better way to manage the systems. Yeah. Don't give it to the men. Give it to the women. Because they're used to nurturing the family. They're used to budgeting. They have a stronger resistance to pain, adversity. They know how to budget. In provinces, they really run the show. We are a feminine, equal country. They run the show more than men do. We are number one in emotional intelligence worldwide. And that's sometimes more important than intellectual quotient. No? Emotional quotient these days is more important. It's potential lying right out there. Hand it to them and let them handle the show. Let all women have free education. Fund all their education, not the men, the women, no? Let the women run the government. Because I think it's harder to corrupt women than it is to corrupt men. Well, you hear Marcos.
Okay. The cash give up. Wouldn't it be better if the customer of these entities was the government? And the dole-out is in product coming from all of these facilities. So you give them, they go to a place, we have plenty of suitcases all over the place. If the government is the customer of all of these things, to give it to the people so they feed their children, and one, you don't have civil unrest, you don't have the stress in the family. Just consider creating our own markets for our own products rather than depending upon outside, and take that cash subsidy and make sure that no kid goes to bed hungry. And that's the type of system that we've done.
There's an incident, I can't remember which area. There was a storm coming, and the rice farmers in that area were preparing for the storm. So they gathered in the harvest, and then they got it ready. then the government, anticipating the storm, bought rice from Vietnam and just gave it away to them. So all of the rice farmers that had prepared for the storm were not business because they that's poor planning. Like you're saying, they should have just bought it from the producers in that area.
We were talking about the government buying all the rice from the farmers. But buy the rice from them and keep them up and all. But even the LGUs, okay? You have stores where the poor can go in and get stuff free from it. And if it's everyone, the political go in, your kids have to go, the council will bar back at it, make sure that everyone's together. It's interesting. I mean, we said that some of the things, the cash, some of the things, too, but if that cash goes, because we don't want to buy them cigarettes. We don't want them to buy whatever. We want them to have steady things that are going through. And then you can fix your demand. You can say, okay, what's the average, how many chickens would be, how many vegetables would be, and you plan around that.
There's also the LGU, the internal revenue allotment is basically used as basically kickback. They take it and they just spend it, and then they just wait for the next era from the government. So there's no legislation, there's no mandate to increase your dependence on IRA. Because that would have been the source for your investments. You take your IRA and you plow it into development projects which are revenue generating. Then the government gets a cash flow out of that. But they're treating the central government like mommy and daddy. Just every week I get my allowance and I spend it and that's it.
The other issue is building critical mass markets. Okay, I used to do 26 trade shows a year worldwide for 5 years to establish my markets. If the government is buying these products and packaging these products through here and giving it out on these programs, we're set up to be able to export that same stuff all over the world. And we build our critical mass from all of the centers around the whole country with that. But our original customer that's going to back our markets is the government in and of itself.
That's exactly how Danny Fauci started. He looked at and he said, okay, where's the market? All right, I need a market. All right, I'll tap this milk feeding program of the government. And then his initial market was for all of the schools, milk products in all of the schools. And then that demand generated the impetus to invest and start up a facility. And then you decrease your dependence on that and you open up new markets.
Every single one of these communities that we would build, if they're going through process, this professional process, and they get this one market, then they start to be selling overseas. Expansion.
Okay, David, okay, you turn. Go ahead.
I've had some experience with smallholder coconut producers who, I think this community organisation is critical, absolutely. My experience with the cluster system that we had under just a cluster of farmers with a farmer association, not a cooperative, just a farmer association with a common goal, and the link to fair trade. The impact was immense. When they had discretionary funds, which is, I guess, the other option. One of the options is the government is putting on a PPP program with an identified group of people who are poor. The other way which the fair trade worked was when you were part of that system, you got a bonus from the sale of your product, in this case, coconut water in the States, so you got a check to the association every month. And that was discretionary. No one told you how to spend it. And yet, for me, the most amazing logical selection of projects came out of that because it was community-based. It had to have a 75% approval rating on a vote by the community. Now, I'm sure there was lots of vote reading going on, but even so, the amazing things that came out of that for me were everybody had health insurance. It was obviously one of their prime requirements. And that was funded, and it's continued to be funded in this way. So a whole lot of these things happened, and I didn't see anything ridiculous coming out of it. I saw very pragmatic results, and then the community starts to get confidence. And the interesting thing for me was that the community then starts to dictate what it expects from the government. That was my biggest surprise, was that suddenly they were going to the mayor saying, well, we need a road, or we need something to get our coconuts to the market, and this is where we need it. And so suddenly, it sort of flipped over the traditional mendicant attitude to one of starting to drive. And that was a very impressive thing. And these are the 4 things, I think, that make sure the development will happen and the growth will happen. Because the sustainability is within the community itself. I was pleasantly surprised. So I'm a great fan of fair code, but it doesn't apply to everything. But again, I know the smallholder pork industry is my own particular interest, and I know a lot of people, there's a huge industry almost across the whole of the Philippines, the backyard pork industry. And yet, if that could be harnessed in some way, it's a huge industry. I've had several meetings with South Korean commercial attaches who say they would take 1,000 head of pigs a week if we could produce them reliably. South Korea, and these in particular were the native pigs, not the hybrids, but the native pigs fed on just pasture grown, grass grown undercover. So there's lots of opportunities, but once you get to that sort of level, you start running into some technical issues and training issues, which farmers, I was staggered to see very few farmers actually understood what a levy did. I've said this before, and I know it sounds like a sermon, but it's so fundamental to any agricultural activity that you are trying to use a plant that fixes nitrogen naturally, and once you do that, you sort of almost more than one third of the way along the road to producing something from that plant. And that just seems to be not understood well for the market space. Yeah, but that's another issue. Yeah, but fundamentally, I think the community cluster is the key to any of this sort of thing. However, you can fit it
In the Muslim Mindanao area, particularly the Sultan here, emphasis should be on freer markets, because in that area, the Chinese get along with both Christians and Muslims. Maybe Christians and Muslims don't get along too much due to the conflict, but Chinese get along well with both parties. Okay, right? So there is nothing better to replace free markets. You can replace with political struggle. You certainly can't replace with military struggle. Let the market take its course and remove restrictions, remove regulations, and let buyers and sellers get together. Every time they do a deal, both are happy. They solve the differences that way. Not government intervention.
But the Chinese subsidize. It's not a fair market. If it was a fair market, that would be one thing, but it's not fair. It's not fair.
Well, it's better than what we have.
Vicente, yes. Well, firstly, I was in that PESA and you were there. I was listening, amazing studies and so on. I just wanted to give a suggestion. Now, a few years ago, there's a team that went to Taiwan, headed by Philip Ong, and I was part of that. Okay, so we observed the Taiwan model, which has 2 hectares for each farmer, but all of them are driving a Mercedes. Right? So we went all the different farms. Then I just noticed one thing. Focus on the product. So each farmer concentrates on, for example, duck production, pig production, lettuce production, and so on. Then they use an app or a system where the customers send them their orders, so they plan exactly the number of requirements. Then the value chain they were explaining. So I think the system is the great problem. Like, for example, Filipinos are not corrupt. You're saying corrupt. But the system makes us corrupt. For example, you have to spend 1 billion to be a mayor of a capital region, major capital region. So you have to steal. yeah, to recover the 1 billion within 2 to 3 years. No? So this is the situation. So I recommend that we use that Taiwan model. However, I also agree with what Lou was saying that you cannot make money unless you're industrial. So we had Sito Lorenzo's. Last night I was beside George Garcia. We had a dinner. They're doing very, very good, especially now the bananas are booming. So I think using these two models, the Taiwan model, 2 hectare, I think our land reform is it 5? Or is it 5 hectare? So, so nothing to do with racial age. And so a lot of people are using age, we're aging, our farmers are getting old. Nothing to do with that. So it's really focusing on making a system like the Taiwan model. So I would recommend you go there. We can give you the itinerary. I think it's Pinafi who did a trip.
Actually, the planner, KTV of Taiwan was a contemporary and a friend of SDR, and they worked together on that Taiwan model, and which is why that model is reflected here. What you explained is actually embedded in the system.
Okay, good. Yeah, so
Yeah, I would love to go see firsthand.
yes,
SDR always talks about it.
and then I like the pilot. You have a pilot project. If it's a balance, perhaps we could.
We could, but definitely.
Yeah, we'd be interested. So we'd like to support that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
SDR would be very happy.
Yeah, so keep it up. We need a lot of you going around and start talking and then sharing. I think we need an organization. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it. That's it. We have 1 hour.
Yes, those people here,
Okay. Yeah.
with the interested people.
It's like the typhoon. Yeah.
Started with that phone.
Okay, let's do our recognition, and then next week we will be, what do we have next week?
We have the travel during vegetable and fruit processing.
Okay.
Yes, plus don't eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Because I'll serve breakfast. It's my birthday next week. So
Okay.
breakfast is on my tree.
No dinner the night before.
Don't have dinner the night before. Yeah.
During this time, you don't have breakfast.
So supplies.
Okay, okay, we'll do a recognition and then we'll adjourn. But Mr. Chairman, Vice Chairman, I would like to do the honors. Okay.
In behalf of the Management Association of the Philippines, Agribusiness and Kansas Development Foundation, I'm honored to present this plaque of appreciation, which goes to NAB ABCDF presents the certificate of appreciation to Mr. Vicente Roxas for his invaluable support in the advocacy and promotion of agribusiness and countryside development, and for his commendable and unselfish services rendered to this foundation as guest speaker at its 41st weekly forum held at the Formation Center Missionaries of Charles Jesus, Estrella Street, corner of Apollo Street, Guadalupe, Viejo, Makati, given this 3rd day of December, Makati City. Signed, Ramon Lusoria, Chairman, and Ernesto Ordonez, President. But we are not letting you go with the plaque. We have an obligation. By next week, you have to make a book report on 3 books.
I actually have this one. SDR gave it to me.
Oh.